Hi. Is it working? Wait, I'm supposed to figure out if it's working, not you. No one's even watching this yet. It looks like it's working, I think. So the thing is, I have no idea because it's on my laptop, which is not what I'm using for the stream, so I can kind of see it, but it's also far away. I probably should have put it closer. Anyways, I'm Heart of Unicornia, except I look different because, yeah, just because I have this VTuber model. I was going to do this stream on a different channel that I have on YouTube. However, I can't yet because you have to wait 24 hours, I think, before you can do it after you do the thing so that you can do it. So that means I have to wait. So this will be put on the YouTube channel as a video after I do it. How do I know if this is actually live? Because there's no comments or anything, and I don't know if anyone's watching except me. Well, anyways, wait, what voice do I use? Because I'm Heart of Unicornia, I talk like this, but I can also talk like this, also as a VTuber, because I've done that before. I don't know. I don't know which one matches the character more, because I haven't really thought about it. This VTuber model was supposed to be from my VTuber group, so it wasn't going to be me. But then when the VTuber group didn't work, I thought, this VTuber model's too good, so I have to use it eventually. So I'm using it. But how do I talk? How am I supposed to talk? I don't know. I'll just be Heart of Unicornia, but I'm not being Heart of Unicornia. If I was, I would look like myself. Okay, anyways. That's not why I'm here today. Oh, I hope nobody watches this. This is gonna be so bad. I've never done this before, to be honest. I'm doing something a bit different from what I usually do. Like, I do streams, and I have reacted to my own videos before, but that's different because I made them. But this one, well, here's the story of how I found it. One day, I was on YouTube. That's pretty normal. I watch videos there all the time. And then... Wow, this VTuber model looks so different. Anyways, and then I found a video that I wanted to watch because I like psychology and stuff like that. That word sounds so weird just because I don't say it. It sounds weird because I'm not used to hearing my own voice saying it. Anyways, I thought this video could be interesting. It's about a person that I don't know very much about, that I have seen in thumbnails before. Might as well watch it. And then I noticed a few things about it. Now, this is just my opinion, what I'm about to say. I have not finished high school, so I have no professional opinions whatsoever. My opinion is just a random person who's kind of an adult. Does 19 really count as an adult? I don't know. Anyways, my random opinions are very uneducated, I guess. But I don't think I'm wrong. Even though I didn't finish high school, and even though I didn't go to university or college or anything like that yet, I do want to be a lawyer though. But anyways, even though I haven't finished with my education, and there's still stuff I need to learn. What was I even going to say? I was too focused on saying the first part. I didn't think of the second part. Oh right, okay. I am probably not wrong. So, why do I look so angry? Anyways, I'm not angry. So, this video, I watched it, and disclaimer, this is only my opinion. I'm gonna read this one. Okay, it says, the video is for educational purposes only. All observations are based solely on publicly available content. Same with me. This is only based on stuff that's publicly available, which is this video. Nothing in this video constitutes a clinical diagnosis, a verified factual claim, or a statement about any individual's private life, relationships, or family. Yeah, same with what I'm gonna say. Basically, this is my opinion, and this video was this other person's opinion. Although, it does say basically nothing in this video is a statement about people, which isn't exactly true because there were statements, but like, it's opinions. So, anyways, my opinion is that this video has a few flaws. A few. Just a few. Now, you may be wondering how I even ended up watching something like this in the first place. And the answer is, I'm a normal person who sometimes watches videos about random famous people. Well, anyways, I'm going to unpause the video now, and hopefully there will be things I have to say at the very beginning, because otherwise that's going to seem kind of annoying if I'm just watching it the whole time. Okay. I forgot the beginning is just silent for a second so you can read this.
Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mila.
I would like to say I'm pretty sure those are AI subtitles because there were mistakes in them that I remember from the first time I watched it. Anyways, I still feel like I should be explaining why I'm even talking about this video in the first place, but I already did that.
And today I'm going to be psychoanalyzing Clavicular.
See, that was a mistake. That was a mistake. Because even in the title you can see that's not the same. Hopefully you noticed what I'm talking about. Anyways.
Real name is, I think, Braden Eric Peters, and I'm going to be calling him by his real name.
Yeah, except you'll notice later in the video, she didn't remember his real name. Or at least I think. I could be remembering wrong. I hope I'm not wrong, because that would be kind of an annoying mistake to make. Anyways, I'm pretty sure she doesn't actually remember his name 5 minutes later in the video. So that's not exactly true.
I'll explain to you why in a second.
I don't remember that.
I'm going to be analyzing his psychology, his personality. I cannot diagnose, but I'm going to be pointing a lot of things out.
And this is where I would like to say all of the things that people on YouTube say to legally defend themselves against things that may not be true have actually been used in this video a lot. Maybe because the person knows that her opinions aren't exactly right every time. Or maybe just for legal reasons, I don't know. But I have also noticed throughout other videos the same person has made, there have been other mistakes and things that don't exactly seem true. I may be watching one of those in the future, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't really like using things other people have made, so I probably won't do that.
By analyzing his clips from the interviews and TikTok. The first thing that I'm going to point out is body dysmorphia. It's very obvious. He's done his nose job, he's changed his face, injections, or whatever he's done, I'm not sure. But we could see that there is a big change going.
I don't have anything to say yet, but I'm pausing this because I feel like I need to talk about it every 5 seconds. But then also, if I do that, I feel like this. I almost said video, it's a stream. This stream is going to be really long because I'm pretty sure the video is about an hour. Anyways.
Going on from how he used to be before to how he is right now. You know, when I look at this boy, he's probably 15, 16 on this picture, maybe 17. He doesn't look bad. He looks normal. He's
normal, but a bad picture. I think that is something that people should pay attention to if they hate how their face looks. Sometimes it is just the picture. There's nothing wrong with how you look. You just need to move your phone a bit when you're taking pictures, maybe have better light, stuff like that. Because usually, I've noticed, no matter what someone's face looks like, if they have a bad picture, it looks bad, and if they have a good picture, it looks good. Although I also am terrible at remembering faces, so that could be why it's mostly based on light and stuff instead of what someone actually looks like. I usually recognize people by their hair. Don't tell anyone I said that, though. Imagine if people in my family found out that I only recognize them by their hair. That's not actually true. For people in my family. If I know someone, I recognize them. Why am I talking about this? This is not supposed to be about me.
He's a nice-looking teenager. If I need to evaluate the way he looks, you know, but the thing is, the crazy thing is that he did not look bad, okay? And I know he pulls up like with the worst photos from his past and he shows like, look at how I was and look at what I am now, but he didn't look bad. And so what I think what happened is that there was a lot of bullying going on, and additionally to that, well, to begin with, there was trauma. Okay, there was severe trauma from parent.
Okay, so the evidence for this is going to be a little bit confusing, which you're about to see, hopefully.
Parenting, and that trauma got layered with bullying. So it's like there was trauma and then there was bullying, and one thing went on top of another. And I think that's when he started going completely crazy and started his whole journey.
It's so difficult to watch the beginning of a video and think of stuff to say about it because it's the beginning of a video where all of the boring stuff at the beginning is supposed to be. Like, none of the actual information is there, so there's nothing I can say about it yet, but I feel like I need to keep talking.
Of, trying to look better. So why does he have
Wait, I didn't say why I'm streaming on Twitch. Nobody cares. I'll probably answer that in the future when I'm not doing this stream. I need to keep watching the video and keep talking about it. I think everyone who is watching this already left. Only me. The only person who's watching it is me, and that is not very good. So I'm going to unpause it now.
why does he have this strong desire, strong drive to look his best? Okay, why do I think that's the case? All right, guys, so my audio got cut out, so I'm
I was wondering why it suddenly looked different.
recording this part right now. Where did I stop at? I was talking about where does this all obsession about his looks come from?
Okay, this is the important part, I think. This is where something's going to happen. This is where I started to disagree with the things that were being said, I think, or around here, close to here.
Obsession about his looks, it's not just a physical thing, okay? Because we are humans, we are the mind, the soul, and the body, right? We're the three things: mind, soul, and the body.
I don't know how I feel about that. But I would like to say, obviously, if someone cares about something, that is not just a physical thing because it's their brain that's making them care about the thing.
And all these three things, they are interconnected. And because they're interconnected, you need to understand when a baby is born, the baby is being cared for by the mother.
That is usually true. Although I'm not sure what that has to do with anything that this video is about. It looks like I'm staring at the ceiling. I'm not. The VTuber model is just doing that for some reason. So if you think I'm rolling my eyes or something, I'm not. It's just because I'm looking at the screen. Maybe I need to sit like this. And then maybe it'll look better. Does that look better? I think it does. Okay, anyways.
Right? And so the mother needs to provide mirroring to a child, because the child, in the very beginning, the child has bodily functions, right? The child cannot think. It's really
Okay, I don't know very much about really young children who were just born, but I do think that saying a child cannot think maybe isn't the greatest way to explain that, because although their brains are not the same, I'm sure they have some form of thoughts. Like, I'm sure they can at least think, I don't like this thing and I want it to stop, or there's a thing in front of my face. I wonder what it is, or I'm hungry. I want food. I know they can at least think of some things. Otherwise, how do they even react to things happening in their lives? Why do they cry? Why do they wake up in the middle of the night? Why do they keep their parents awake all the time? I only know that because I have a sister who's younger than me. Although, there was also a cat that did that would be really loud in the middle of the night and keep everyone awake. So, cats do that too. But that cat was old. And blind, I think, actually. I am not here to be talking about my old, blind, dead cat. I am here to be watching the video and talking about it. I am so bad at this.
important about how the mom cares for the child in the beginning stage, because there's a lot of uncomfortable sensations that the child might feel, and the mom has to be there to comfort him, okay? Why am I saying this? Because it's quite obvious that it's not only narcissistic qualities that he possesses, and it's probably a narcissistic structure.
Okay, I would like to say there are some reasons I'm not quite sure if I agree with that. I might explain later, depending on if it comes up again in the video. I can't remember, but I do think that isn't exactly right. Like, something about that just seems a little bit wrong. I did do some research, of course, after watching this, and that is how I came to that conclusion, but it doesn't quite seem like that. It seems like a combination of other things. Anyways,
But the body dysmorphia,
I say
it didn't
anyways a
just
lot.
come from the school, you know, where he was bullied. This whole body dysmorphia, it comes from your childhood. Because
Okay, so this is the part where there's something I don't agree with, like actually don't agree with, that doesn't make sense, and there's not a lot of proof for it.
when you're not being accepted for who you are, you're not loved unconditionally by your parents, by your mom, etc., by your caretakers, then you start almost denying your body, denying your physical.
It's not that part yet. There's still more words until then. Never mind. Pretend I didn't say that yet. It's almost time for that, though. It's almost that part of the video.
Self. Your self-esteem is not like integrated, if that makes any sense. I have worked and I had friends who had body dysmorphia and those who had consistent obsession about the way they looked. And I can tell you one thing, that they were all heavily criticized, physically, emotionally abused by their parents. It's a fact.
Okay, and that could be true. That could be true, that every person that this person has met. Wait, what was I even... I don't know how to fit that into a sentence. Like, the things I was gonna say. Uh, without saying words I don't know how to say because I can't make myself say them. What am I even going to do to explain this? Okay, so basically what the person said was that something causes something in all of the people that she knew with the thing. And that could be true, but that doesn't mean it causes it in every person because you don't know every person. And what if you only met people with specific reasons for things because that just happens to be the people you know?
Fact. When you're being physically, emotionally abused in childhood, it is most likely that you're going to feel dysmorphic. You're going to feel like very weak self-worth, but you're gonna be transferring all that's on in here on the outside on your body, and your body becomes the battleground for what's happening here. That inacceptance, you know, because that inacceptance, it's not about how he looks. It has nothing to do with how he looks. Like, he looks normal, right? Like any American teenager. He looks like
Okay, but teenagers do actually usually look bad. I feel like it could actually be because of that. Like, imagine you're a teenager, and suddenly everything about how you look is just changing a little bit. But then you're not an adult yet, and you're not a child anymore, so you're like in between an adult and a child with all of the worst things about your appearance because everything bad that happens to how someone looks is always when they're a teenager. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense at all. Probably not. I probably said that badly. But, anyways, you know, teenagers don't look good, and it would make sense to be a teenager, which is also the age where people are the most likely to be thinking about how they look and worrying about it and stuff, and think, I look awful, without realizing it's only because you're a teenager and you actually don't look that bad, and you will look better in the future. I don't know if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. No one's even watching this. It doesn't matter. I shouldn't be saying that. What if someone is watching this? What if I do the anime voice? What if I talk like this? Because then, if people watch this, I'll be more like a normal VTuber, and then people will think I'm more interesting. What am I even doing? I'm gonna unpause the video.
a normal human being. There's nothing to worry about. But all these worries, they are to do with his parenting, with the way he was raised and treated by his caretakers. I can
Okay, but assuming that someone's problems are all because of their parents, just because you knew people who had those problems because of their parents, isn't exactly right, because there are different things that can cause different problems. Like, for example, being a teenager can make you hate how you look because teenagers usually look bad. And teenagers usually care more about how other people see them. So, like, if you're gonna hate how you look as a teenager, it's probably gonna be at least a little bit because of those things too. So, I feel like there can be more than one reason for something. And assuming that something is for a specific reason just because you knew some people is like the opposite of science, because with science, you're supposed to have thousands of people do something and thousands of people do something else, and then write down a bunch of numbers and then see if something causes something based on all of that. Like, if this was real science, it would have to be so many people that would have to answer a bunch of questions and stuff, and then it's really unlikely that there wouldn't even be one person who had really good parents who just doesn't like how they look and thinks about it a lot. Because there are other reasons that can happen. And of course, I'm not saying that it can't happen because of bad parents, but it isn't always for one reason, and that's kind of important. So, I'm gonna do the anime voice again, except I feel like I'm being too quiet. I don't know how I should talk like this. Like, should I just talk normally or should I do the anime voice? Because this stream is so awful, I'm supposed to be doing something. I'm just gonna keep the anime voice for now.
Assume that his mother was someone who might have been either critical, very critical, or completely absent, actually.
Now remember, this is based on the fact that the person in the video knew some people who had bad parents. I don't think that's exactly evidence that a person you've never met also had bad parents.
Emotionally absent, not caring at all, zero emotional care, could have been emotionally abusive, could have been like completely emotional.
But imagine you're a parent and you're watching a video about your child, and someone is saying, you must have been such a bad parent because your child isn't very happy, and there are some bad things about their life. What if you actually were a good parent? Then you'd be thinking, wait, what if this is actually true? What if I actually did things wrong? Maybe I am a terrible parent. And if you're a bad parent, you'd probably think, no, this person's wrong. I'm a really great parent. Although a good parent could think that, and a bad parent could notice their mistakes too. Anyways, imagine how awful it would be to be the parent of someone and have a person make a video about how awful you were as a parent based on the fact that they know people who had the same problems as your child who had bad parents.
Emotionally not present, not there for the child. When the mother is emotionally not present for the child, then the child has a lot of anxiety to cope with, and the child does not learn how to cope with anxiety. Hence, there is this video right here. I'm going to play it again. Yeah, in this video, he is ordering like a burger without anything.
Okay, this is gonna be really annoying. You'll see why.
And without any cheese, and then he says when he cannot get the burger that he really wants, he starts saying that he's gonna freak out. I'm not happy. I'm gonna like. There's something specific that he says in a little bit. You know, when he doesn't get his burger the way he wants. This is, you know, what is this really?
I know what it is. Because based on my research, he said he's autistic. Which means that is a perfectly reasonable reaction to food being wrong. Not that it's good exactly, but completely normal.
Ability to tolerate frustration. When a grown-up man is unable to tolerate frustration, it says a lot. It says a lot about his infantility. He is still very infantile. His psyche cannot process frustration, cannot tolerate when things do not go his way. It's extremely immature.
I was
And it
drinking water
also
and it
points
looked
to
weird.
me, it points
See?
to the fact that he's not emotionally separated from his parents.
Okay, that's the annoying thing. So she said that he would have been upset if the food that he ordered was wrong. Perfectly reasonable reaction to something being horribly wrong when it's not supposed to be. And she said it's because he's not emotionally separated from his parents or something like that. It's got nothing to do with parents. Just think of it this way. You're really tired or something and you're going to get food and you're hungry and you think, I really want a burger with no cheese on it. That would be really good. And then you're going to get that burger. So you're thinking, this is going to be great. I'm really happy because I'm going to really enjoy that burger that I really, really want. And then suddenly it has cheese on it. And then it's not the burger that you really wanted, that you were supposed to get, that people told you were going to get. So those people basically lied and ruined your plans to eat the thing that you really wanted that you were supposed to get. That would be a little bit annoying. Not like I've ever cried about anything like that or anything. Who would ever do that? That would be so weird. I would never do that. But, anyways, it's not good when that happens. And yeah, some people don't care. Those people are weird. Like, I cannot imagine getting food that I wanted to eat and then having something be so wrong with it that I can't eat it. Like cheese being on a burger. Actually, I think that might have happened once when I still ate burgers when I was a child. And then someone said, just remove it. But it's actually not easy to just remove it because it's melted onto stuff. But, anyways, imagine your food is ruined. Who would be perfectly okay with that and not even care? Because that would not be me. My reaction would not be, oh, well, I guess I'm not eating anything. That's fine. I don't care about that. And yeah, some people would just say, well, I guess I'm getting another one. But, like, I don't know. It doesn't mean anything about someone's parents if they're upset by that. It could be because of their parents, but in this situation, I really doubt it is based on other information. And the fact that I would probably react in the same way. Don't tell anyone I said that.
And what does it also say about not being emotionally separated from the parents?
Absolutely nothing, because it has nothing to do with that. We already figured out the reason for that. It's really, really obvious, actually. I don't know, I could be wrong. I just think I'm probably not.
It means that the parenting was somewhat toxic on some level.
No, I disagree. I think that's got nothing to do with parents being bad. You can have really good parents and still be disappointed when your food is wrong. I know I would, and there's nothing wrong with my parents, so I don't see how those two things are related.
Maybe not the dad, maybe just the mom, maybe them somehow contribute.
Okay, why is it specifically the mom? Also, I've returned to my normal voice. The anime voice hurts to do for a long time, apparently, but so does my normal voice, so I'll be switching between them, I guess. Anyways, why is it just the mom? Why is it most likely to be just the mom that's the problem? Why does she hate moms so much? Because she already mentioned how bad the mom was probably at the beginning. What's wrong with moms?
Reading together, I have no idea. You know, it's unfortunate because many parents, especially.
I've only finished 6 minutes of this, and the stream has been almost 30 minutes. I need to talk less.
Actually, I feel like parents that are in their 50s, like now, right now it's 2026, and so parents who are in their 50s, I feel like a lot of these parents are emotionally immature, and there's a great book.
What does that have to do with anything at all? My parents are around that age. Oh, actually, I shouldn't be telling you that. Pretend I didn't say that. My mom would say she's 29. So let's just say my mom is 29. No, but that sounds really weird. My mom is 29 and I'm 19. That wouldn't work. So, anyways, yeah. I was born around the time my mom was 30. I think maybe, like, I shouldn't say specifically. She would tell me not to tell anyone. But, anyways, yeah, I have parents around that age. And again, it seems like there's nothing wrong with how they are as parents, so what does that have to do with anything? Why are parents, specifically at that age, supposed to be bad parents? I feel like younger parents are probably going to be worse because they are younger when their children are born, which means they have less experience with being alive, which means they're more likely to make mistakes, and they also have less of their life figured out already, and maybe less money, depending on how old they are, and they could still be a student. They could still, I don't know, be trying to figure out where to live. Because, like, younger people have a lot of stuff to figure out still. Like, if you have a child when you're 20, that's weird. Because I'm 19 and I cannot imagine having a child next year. I could not be a parent. That would be so much work. Maybe someday, but not anytime soon.
You can read about emotionally immature parents. It's by Lindsay
Drinking
Gibson,
water again.
Children of Emotionally Immature Adults, or something like that. You can find it. Amazing book. like incredible. I feel like anyone who has ever felt like the love was conditional, you should read that book. It's
Okay, but again, what does that have to do with parents being around the age of 50? I'm doing the third character voice because my other voices hurt too much to do for a long time. Actually, when I normally talk, it's kind of more like this. Anyways, unpausing the video.
it's incredible. So, what does it mean also, the fact that he cannot separate emotionally from his parents? It means that, by the way, being emotionally separated from your parents means that you have developed a stable sense of self that exists without their approval. You do not care about their approval. And this
That has nothing to do with there being cheese on a burger.
is where the psychological maturity, when it happens, psychological maturity happens when you realize that you don't care about approval of anyone, really, about your parents, especially your parents. But he is very, and in one of the videos later I'll share, or I might not share, that he cares about his dad's approval very much so. And if you're not separated from your parents, then you're gonna have issues with your self-esteem, your sense.
Okay, but that doesn't mean that's the only reason someone could have problems with stuff like that. There are lots of things that could cause that, and they're not all related to parents. Like, imagine horrible stuff happens at school and you're being bullied by people. Couldn't that cause problems? Wouldn't that be enough? Like, does it have to be the parents too for that to be harmful? Or, like, I feel like parents aren't necessary for someone to be unhappy.
Of self, unfortunately. That is the case. One of the most important things in therapy is to help clients separate from their parents, to develop this foundation, strong foundation of self, that you don't need anyone's approval. So
Okay, I went to therapy once, and the person basically said, "Don't worry about anything. Everything's fine. None of your problems are real. Everything's fine." So I don't think that's the same at all. And one time I said I was extremely worried about a specific thing, and the person basically said, "Oh, that's normal. Everyone worries about things like that." Except, of course, it wasn't, because I do worry about stuff more than most people do. And I did know that, but someone didn't. That reminds me of when I tried to do singing lessons and the person told me to just give up and play a piano instead.
he lives in symbiosis. Essentially, he's living in symbiosis
What does that
with his
mean? I
mother or
forgot.
father, the whole family. And you don't have to live separate, because that happens with the psyche. That's in your mind. It doesn't you can live in separate countries, it does not matter. So anyway, the
Living in a different country from my parents would be so weird. They'd be so far away. Like, how would I even talk to them anymore? And what about Freya?
result of this, if he's not separated, obviously he's not, he will need always external validation, constant external validation. And this is exactly what he's doing with his life. He is doing anything and everything to get external validation. Men, women, parents. But I think he's inside his mind, it kind of like operates as a teenager.
Okay, isn't he only 20 years old though? Like, I'm 19 and I could technically be a teenager, so he's like either 20 or 21. Really close to my age, which is so weird because he looks so much older. But, anyways, if I'm a teenager, why should he be suddenly way more mature than a teenager when he's barely older than me?
That's why I feel like most of his audience would probably be teenagers, because
I don't think being like a teenager is the only reason that your audience could be teenagers. Specifically, the stuff he's doing would be more appealing to teenagers because teenagers care more about how people see them and they usually look bad because they're teenagers and stuff like that.
he is so relatable because of the way he thinks and he operates.
Or because of the
Because they
things
can
he's doing.
relate. When they see him, they can relate. Because now when the burger is not there and he's like, oh, I'm so pissed. I'm so angry.
I don't think any of the people who were watching that while it was live actually thought it was relatable at all. I'm pretty sure there Or at least that's what the people in all the videos say. I obviously wasn't there when it actually happened. My research was videos. So, I don't know. But I'm pretty sure most teenagers don't think that's relatable.
Because that's them. They see themselves, these teenagers, they see themselves in him because they're the same. You know, when a teenager, and I remember myself as a teenager, you know, when something doesn't go my way, I throw a tantrum kind of thing, right? So this is essentially, he's 20 years old and he's throwing a tantrum, but I think he's young. He's very young. He's going to learn. He's going to.
So, when I went to school, were the teenagers there not real or something? Because nobody ever did that. Although, to be fair, I didn't spend a lot of time with people who would do things like that. Oh, I accidentally clicked something.
You know, hopefully he's going to change and he's going to grow. And, you know, essentially from the bottom of my heart, I hope he changes and I hope he grows and learns from his mistakes.
Dude, what?
So on this video where we can see, because he's a streamer, he streams everything every day, you know, it's insane. Also, it's another thing I'm going to talk about a bit later, but you can see how there are so many clips and cuts about him and her talking about money. You know, when she goes shopping, she needs, you know, it's about money. When, you know, it's her birthday, she's asking.
That is kind of weird.
For $22,000 is quite a lot, you know, why would you be? And here is the thing, right? Like if you just think, right, like rationally, if you think about it, your son is taking drugs on camera. I don't know if I should be screening out those boards.
Don't say that in my stream. I feel like it probably doesn't matter. Not like I'm saying they're good or anything. Because, you know, obviously I wouldn't. That would be bad. Drugs are bad, obviously. If you're watching this, you have to agree with me. Otherwise, go away. That's not true. I don't care if people are watching things that don't agree with me.
So I'm going to say Ruggs, okay? He has overdosed. He had...
Okay, but why say different words when you could just edit the video to not include the word all the way? Because people do that. It's probably easier, because then you don't have to remember what to say.
He is bashing his face with a hammer. It's not actually bashing. I saw how he was doing it. It's not that bad, but still, I mean, it's just like ridiculous. Anyway, he is, I mean, okay, that's already bad enough, okay? This whole thing is already...
Oh no, someone knows how long my stream is. That means they might have watched it. Uh-oh. I told people not to watch it, because it's not going to be good. Oh, by the way, person who's not supposed to be watching this, it's not over yet, so it's not 38 minutes and 3 seconds. You said 36 minutes, but anyways, it's not that. You're wrong. It's not over yet.
Already bad enough.
22,000 is crazy.
And you are profiting from your son who is doing that. So it's like you're profiting from that. How could you take money from your baby who is doing these horrible things to himself on camera, streaming, making money from that? How could you even be profiting from that? How?
I don't really have a lot to say about this part.
Explain to me. So I'll explain to you. She would be profiting from that because in how I see it, how I think, and I see it, and I'm going to play out those videos, but you probably would have already seen them. Let me play those out first. Play them out.
Lauren Peters requests $22,000 for her birthday. That's my mom. $22,000.
That's a lot of money. I wish someone would give me that much.
$2,200? Yeah, fine. Happy birthday.
Maybe I should be a parent. That's a joke, by the way. I wouldn't have a child just to get a lot of money from them. That wouldn't be very good. I do want money, though. I want to be the richest person in the world someday. Although I doubt that's going to happen. I can't really be rich or famous right now. I can't even talk for more than 40 minutes. My voice hurts. My voice is not a part of my body that can hurt. The place my voice is coming from hurts.
It's crazy.
And I was talking
lying,
normally.
What I tweeted out used to happen to me And my sister, literally all the time. I bought my sister, whatever, $3,000, and my mom just straight up took it.
Okay, wait. He has a sister. Assuming that she's younger, she could be the same age as my sister, who isn't even a teenager yet, which means she could be a child, which means she might not need that much money. So if she is actually close to the age of my sister, which is unlikely but possible, that would be very unreasonable to give her that much money in the first place, and not unreasonable for the mom to take it, especially if she was doing something like saying, "You can't have this right now. I'll save it for your education in the future," or something like that. Or even if she is a teenager, that wouldn't be an unreasonable response to that, because nobody who isn't an adult really needs that much money unless they for some reason live alone, because of course then they would need money. But you know, a child or teenager who's living with their parents probably doesn't.
You know, she straight up said, nah, this is mine. It's not like I just gave my sister something. Like, I
The thing is, he could be telling the truth or he could be exaggerating what happened. We don't know because we weren't there.
gave her shit too. And my
Yeah, so it's not that she's requesting money from him, but she's also taking the money that he's giving to his sister.
Maybe.
Which, in some ways you could understand that. You could, it's I guess it makes sense because I'm not sure how old she is. I think she's 15, 16. What she's going to do with the money, right? But I doubt that a 16-year-old girl is going to go and spend
So that
3,000.
means my sister could have also been that age right now. That would be so weird if she was actually closer to my age. Although I feel like we would hate each other a lot if we were closer in age. I feel like the fact that she's a lot younger than me is probably why we can still talk to each other without, like, trying to kill each other. Not that we would actually try to kill each other, but, like, we wouldn't like talking to each other because my cousins, they're closer in age and they are so annoying when they're together. They used to fight about everything, and I'm not sure if they still do because I don't really talk to people in my family very much anymore. I shouldn't be saying stuff like that. I just spend a lot of time alone, which is probably why I can't talk for more than 40 minutes. Also, the anime voice hurts less for some reason, even though my normal voice is nothing like that. The easiest way to talk is probably like this, but that sounds kind of weird.
$1,000 on drugs, for example, she's most likely to go and spend it shopping. Maybe they don't want to spoil her, fair enough. Maybe they don't want her, because when your kids get spoiled and then they buy the latest iPhone or whatever, they go to school, and then in the school, kids would start bullying them because she has something that they don't have.
Wait, what?
For example, maybe that's one of the ways.
People get bullied for having stuff? Is that a thing? I have never heard of that. Do people actually get bullied for having more things than other people? Is that real? Also, this VTuber model is so different from the one I usually have. I am not used to how it looks. And like the way it moves and stuff. I wish the one I made for myself was better than this one. But I guess people who have been doing things for more time and learned how to do it properly are going to be better at it. I should probably keep learning. Anyways, back to the video.
To prevent, I don't know. I'll show you another video.
Okay, so that's kind of what I would say is my saving grace, is the fact that they just have, seen me be an idiot. So they weren't really too surprised. Obviously they were mad, but not surprised. They were just like, yeah, who could have seen this bullshit coming? And also my mom, allowed me to...
So much of the video is left, and I can barely talk now. I may need to do a part 2 depending on how this goes.
Have the steroids to begin with, so it was kind of her fault. What was she gonna say? She took them away for a day, and I was like, dude, and then she just gave them back.
Okay, wait, that is actually bad. Parents shouldn't be doing things like that. If you find your child with something they're not supposed to have, don't give it back. Unless they're an adult. And it's not illegal for them to have it. Like, for example, if you say to your child, you cannot buy a car, and then they turn 18 and they buy a car, and they're legally able to drive and stuff, and they drive the car to places, and, they didn't steal the car or anything, you wouldn't take away the car, because that's bad. But, if you find something that's illegal or dangerous, and you're the parent of someone, you don't just give it back. I hope there was at least a conversation about it, a lot of talking about it and a lot of convincing.
So just think about it. What type of mother in her right mind would give steroids to a 14, 15-year-old child? You know, to
14 or
me,
15?
I
That's
see
really
him
young.
as a poor child who has been neglected emotionally. I can tell for one, like I can say for one, is that he has
Okay, so maybe the mom has made some mistakes. I'm not sure if that means she's a terrible person or has just given up on being a good parent because of how difficult it is and stuff or something like that. Or she actually is being lied about. Who knows? Because we don't know her. But I will say, I still believe what I said before about how everything about him is not because of his mom. But yeah, maybe the mom does have some problems too, like asking for thousands of dollars from her child who is doing dangerous things to get that money. If I was a mom, well, actually, I won't be, so. Doesn't matter. I don't know if I'm gonna be a parent someday. I can't decide. Because, like, I don't want to. Because then I'll have to do parent things, like stop what I'm doing to take someone somewhere because they need to do something, and like I'll have to learn how to cook food. I can't live with my parents anymore, probably. But I'll probably feel differently about it when I'm older. Okay, this is starting to hurt to do the anime voice. I'm gonna stop.
definitely not been loved unconditionally for, you know, for who he is. I have no idea what's the reason why his parents had him. You know, different parents have children for different reasons. Some
It's true. I do agree. Wait, if I do this, will I be louder? Yeah, I will, but it probably sounds bad. Okay, stop, because that's probably not a good idea. I put the thing back on the microphone. So, anyways, yeah, some parents do have a child for reasons that aren't as good. Some parents want to be parents, and some parents want a child for other reasons. And sometimes that doesn't end very well for the child, depending on what the parents expect from them. Like, for example, if parents decide to have a child because everyone else is doing it, that doesn't necessarily mean they're ready to be parents. And they might need to wait. But if they have the child, they could end up being bad parents.
Sometimes parents have, you know, children for the reasons of keeping the family together, or you know, some parents can be narcissistic, so for them a child is like a continuation of themselves.
I have heard that.
Okay,
I do believe
and I don't
that.
know whether you know, like I can't tell whether the parents are narcissistic.
I don't think that should be the first thing you think of every time someone doesn't seem like a good person, because there are lots of reasons someone could be a bad person, and that is not the only reason. However, the person in this video has said that about several different people throughout this video. It isn't the only reason that someone could be a bad parent or someone could be a bad person.
There is a potential that she could be a narcissist because honestly, like I said again, taking money from a child who's abusing himself on online is absolutely not okay. But it shows a dynamic where a mother would be depleting her son in a way, right? And he is almost like he's used to the fact that he needs to give to his mother. So it's not like he is not giving anything to his mother. He is, you know, he is giving her money. He did say that 22,000 is a bit too much. Well, it's not too much. It's a lot.
It's not too much? Yes, it is. How much money do you give your parents? Because I would never give my parents that much unless I was buying their house or something, and then I'd give them enough to buy a house. But, like, it is too much. That is a good way to describe that amount of money. I agree that that is too much, and I don't know why there's a reason to say it's not.
For a birthday present, you know. I think nowadays world, we would all agree we're not, you know, millionaires and billionaires where 22,000 would be nothing.
I wish I was. That would be amazing.
Even if he's making, okay, I have no idea how much he's making, but even if he's making, I don't know, 5 million a year, I still feel like 20, I just, to me, it's just like, it's very.
Want to know how much money I make in a year? Because I don't know. It's probably like $10.
The relationships is very, with him and her,
Maybe 20.
it's almost like it's all about the money. It's about what you can give
Or
me
more than that, I don't
and
know.
what you can specifically, what he can give her mum. It's almost like she's using him. I don't know. To me, it feels like he should be wanting to give to her instead of her telling him that you give me this much.
I do agree that if a child is going to give their parent money for their birthday, it should be the child's decision and not the parent's decision. The parent could probably say no if they think it's too much, but like they shouldn't ask for it unless they really need it. Like, for example, if someone's in the hospital and they can't pay for that because they live in the United States and not Canada, and they just happen to be born in the wrong place, and they didn't realize that if they moved to Canada when they were still very young, they would still have time to be able to not have to pay for it and stuff. It's so weird that you have to pay for stuff like that. Because, like, I don't think that makes any sense at all. But anyways, what was I saying? Right, unless it's like an emergency and a parent really needs that much money and they're going to try to return it later, they shouldn't really be asking for it.
I'm sending you a Venmo request, or you give me that much money. I need to use that much money for my shopping or
This
whatever,
part's boring.
right? I feel like even if, let's say, he's
Not boring, I
super
just have
rich and
nothing to say.
if this was like a healthy relationship between him and his mom, it would be more of a case where he would be going out of his way to get something meaningful for his mom, not just shopping, right? Like something meaningful, like a car. Maybe her car broke down and he buys her a car. Do you get what I mean? Like that's normal, healthy-ish relationship. Either way, to sum this whole mom story up, I feel like he might have been used in a way by his mom in his childhood, or probably emotionally, and he's gotten used to the fact that now he needs to prove his parents his worth, which he has difficulties with self-worth. I think his self-worth is completely on the floor. He's extremely insecure, unfortunately.
Everyone knows that. Or at least, I think everyone knows that. It seems obvious. So it's good that she at least got that right. Because if she didn't, that would be kind of bad. Because that would mean the whole video would be wrong. But anyways.
And I don't know how about you guys, but I see a lot of sadness in his eyes.
Okay, wait. Don't say that. Because again, do you remember? He said, apparently, that he is autistic. Which I believe for a couple reasons from things that I've seen during my research. So, that can also make people look unhappy sometimes, but that doesn't mean they are. My eyes can look sad for no reason. And like smiling less and stuff like that is also pretty normal. And yeah, he probably isn't happy. But like, I don't know, there's other reasons eyes can look sad too. It's so annoying when someone says, "What's wrong?" And nothing was wrong until they said that, because now the thing that's wrong is that they said that, and then I say nothing, and they say, well, obviously something is based on how you responded to that. Anyways. I say anyways a lot.
You know, there's like emptiness. It's almost like there's nothing. There's nothing. And it's very sad. It's depressing, actually. It's depressing as hell, because there's a reason why there's this emptiness in his eyes.
Yeah, but that could also just be the reason I just said, because that can happen, and that's kind of normal. Like, sometimes my eyes look like that. Or, you know, it could be from other things, too. Like drugs, which, by the way, are bad. So never do anything like that ever. Sounds like I'm being sarcastic. I'm not. I'm not. That is actually bad. Anything that does something temporary that you have to keep doing seems kind of like a waste of time. But then that would also include stuff like eating, so maybe not. Because, like, eating is also a temporary thing. You have to eat multiple times and keep doing it for the rest of your life. So, you know, maybe just ignore what I just said. But Drugs are bad. Eating isn't, obviously. You need to do that to stay alive. If you haven't eaten anything today, go do that right now.
In him, he feels empty. He doesn't feel like he's wholesome. He doesn't look and feel wholesome to me. No, he.
A lot of people don't. Like, who does? I've never seen someone who does. What does that mean?
Looks very empty. So yeah, to sum it up, I don't think that he has received unconditional love from his
That
mother.
could be true.
And for a man, for a boy, I mean, in the very beginning stage, 0 to 6 years, it's one of the most important things.
Okay. This is gonna be a bit weird. But in the comments, so ignore this whole thing, but basically, look at this. That specific person who she is mentioning for information about stuff and like why she said things is a person who had a theory, I'm pretty sure, that very young children, before they're older, are romantically in love with their parents of the opposite gender. So I hope she's not referencing that by what she's saying, because that would be weird. I hope what she said came from a different source of information, because no newborn baby has romantic feelings for anyone. They were just born. They're still trying to figure out where they are and what they're supposed to do for their life and like how to stay alive. And like, it's normal for a child to care about their parents. But like, the fact that she mentioned specifically a boy and a mom is kind of reminding me of that one really bad thing that that person who's probably really dead from like a really long time ago said. Yeah, I really hope she's not talking about that, because that is not true. That is a really weird thing to believe.
Things is to get that love from his mother, get that mirror.
Oh, I also do believe it is a little bit possible that she does believe that and is thinking of that a little bit, because in a different video that I watched to double check if this was just a mistake in this video, because I wanted to make sure that she doesn't make like really great videos most of the time. But anyways, in my opinion, the videos I've watched of hers are all pretty bad. That's an opinion though, it's not like a fact or anything, for legal reasons. But anyways, in the other video she said, if a boy grows up to be a man and still lives with his mom, and like they live together, once he's an adult, they're basically married. Which is weird, because no, if I was a mom and I had a son who was an adult, I would in no way want to marry him, and I would in no way have a relationship that is similar to being married. Because like being married includes like usually romantic feelings at least, which would already be pretty bad, not including the other stuff that married people do. So anyways, I am a bit concerned about her beliefs about parents and children.
Mirroring. And what's interesting that right now that mirror is not his mom anymore. It's the audience that is watching him. That has become his mirror. That is who's mirroring him now.
Okay, that is believable. I do believe that he could potentially need the audience to tell him if he's doing stuff right or wrong. I can believe that, if that's what she's trying to say.
That's why when he hears good comments that you're doing well, you look great, etc., women coming up to him in the club, taking pictures with him or even kissing him, but okay, whatever. He
Wait,
feels
kissing? Random people kissing? That's kind of weird.
for one split second, he feels whole for a bit. I genuinely believe that this dynamic that he had with his mother is now being played out for the large audience.
And I believe that most of what is happening has nothing to do with his mother. I believe that his mother may not be a good parent, But that is not the only thing that could have happened in his life to lead him to do what he is doing now. I look so annoyed, but I'm not. I promise I'm not. This VTuber model is just different from the one I usually use, so I'm not used to the face stuff. See? I'm happy. I have to smile so much. Like, I'm smiling as much as I can right now, and it's barely working.
That's what I was talking about. Think about it like this. He is hammering his face. He is taking drugs. Sorry, I shouldn't be saying drugs online while thousands are watching. And that's one of
I do think that is a bit weird, but that could also be for attention and money and to be famous and stuff. Maybe not because of his mom.
the reasons why people are watching his streams, because he is out of it and he's doing weird things, like disrespecting women, like having fights.
Okay, but disrespecting women probably has actually nothing to do with his mom. I'm pretty sure that's just because of the group of people that he has spent time with. Not including parents, from what I've heard, he spends time with some pretty bad people. So, it would make sense that he also has become a pretty bad person. That is typically what happens. Whoever you spend the most time with is who you'll start to become more similar to, in good ways and bad ways.
It's here and there, breaking down partially, okay, and other things. So because his psyche, right, his unconscious psyche this is what he was trying to get with his mom.
Wait, hold on a second. Why are we talking about a random person and what horrible things have happened in their life that we do not know about and they have not said? Like, I know that, like, with famous people and stuff, people talk about them, but, like, is that really a good thing to do? Because it does seem a bit wrong to make a whole video about everything that could have happened in someone's life to make them the way they are, including, like, horrible things that would ruin their life and make them really unhappy. They probably don't like thinking about them and stuff like that. Talking hurts so much, I need to stop. That's so awful. I can't talk for more than an hour. I'm gonna try to be quiet now.
I guess that's what he didn't get. So now it's the audience that's going to give it to him. But the thing is, he needs to sacrifice a lot. Hopefully
I'll feel better tomorrow because I need to do another stream sometime this week.
Sacrificed himself for whatever he had, and he didn't have much, to be honest, unfortunately. And he was like sacrificing.
Wait, what does that mean? He didn't have much. Didn't have much of what? Like anything ever? Because he has a family. And, like, I don't know. That's all I really know. But then I'm pretty sure he doesn't talk to them.
It's almost like sacrificing your soul to the audience for what? So someone mirrors back
For money and attention, obviously. Everyone wants to be rich and famous.
to you and tells you, yes, you're beautiful, yes, you're worthy, or whatever. So he feels okay for a second. But then the moment when criticism comes in, and now I think people are absolutely bashing him. For what? Money. Money and success. Money.
That's what I said.
And success. Apart from these things that people are saying to him. I'm going to play a clip where he talks about money and success, and I'm going to analyze that clip. So why does he put money and success at the top?
Because everyone wants to be rich and
the
famous?
Top of his needs, or the top, like his values would be money and success. In his reality, in his world, it's money and success. That is the biggest value.
That's what I want too.
Why is that the case? Because you can control through money, and control is opposite of love. And this is exactly what he does with his girlfriend.
It would just be good to be really rich. AI viewers. Who would ever want that? What's even the point in streaming to an audience if that whole audience doesn't exist? I'd rather have nobody watching than have fake people who don't exist watching, because then what's the point in even talking about stuff? Also, I cannot delete that comment or do anything about it because I do not have Twitch open on anything anymore. My laptop turned off, I think. Oh, wait, no, it's on. But it's not on the stream for some reason.
And
so just
also,
ignore it.
you will see that he disrespects women. He changes girlfriends like this. And you will see that. Let me show you this video and you can see how he manipulates his girlfriend.
That is bad
he
to do.
supposedly says that he loves her. Okay?
Hi. Whoa, what's wrong?
I just opened my Twitter and saw you making out with like 4 different girls in there.
That sounds annoying.
Okay, and look who I'm with now, so who gives a fuck? It's like, do you think
Who gives a fuck?
I don't even know their names.
Their
It's like,
nasty ass lips are no. That's disgusting.
well, it's like, okay, but maybe not. I don't even know their names. It's like,
That's even worse. You have a girlfriend. And then you're gonna kiss other people. That's bad. But you don't even know who they are, so you'll just kiss anyone? That's even worse.
but I love you, so how does that compare? It's like, you know,
That's not. No.
I understand. I kiss some girls. You can leave if you want, but I love you.
No, it's just like
That's
you
it.
don't need
That's
to
it.
do
That's
that.
it. That's it.
What do you get out of making out with a girl?
That's it. That's it. Okay? You can leave if you want, but I love you.
If that was me, I would leave. I would leave, and then, actually, before I would leave, I would say, yeah, I'm going to leave. Forever. Unless you say you're never gonna do it again. And then, depending on what happens, I would either leave forever, or not leave forever, depending on whether I could convince him to stop doing that. However, my boyfriend would never do anything like that because he's a good person and I love him, so I never have to worry about anything like that. Seems like someone's personality is important too in relationships. Obviously. Because who could love someone for a long time if they would do things like that? Like, oh, I forgot I have to whisper because my voice. It's weird. It hurts, but I keep forgetting it hurts, even though I can feel it. Okay, anyways, I love my boyfriend, and I'm glad he doesn't do horrible things. Okay, I'm unpausing the video.
The club? I can leave the club?
No, you can leave the relationship.
Why would I leave you? I'm never
Exactly.
leaving you.
Okay, wait. That's like the worst actor I've ever seen. That sounded so fake. I don't believe that. This isn't even real. He has a fake girlfriend who's an actor, but not a good actor. Honestly, if I was going to tell someone I was never going to leave, I wouldn't say it like that. I'll never leave you. It sounded like that. Like, actually, that's not quite how she said it, but you know, like a bad actor in a bad movie. Something's off about that. But anyways, what was I even going to say? Oh yeah, why am I comparing myself to a random woman? I'm a VTuber. We're not even the same at all. The way I do things is obviously going to be different. I'm an anime character. Although I do have a real face.
Exactly.
I'm never leaving you, but I want you to like listen to me and like compromise somehow because like that's really
Listen to
gross.
you. You think all of this came from listening to a woman?
It
What?
doesn't come from
Everything-
making out with girls.
It does, actually. Every single thing that I've ever to be successful has been my decision and my decision.
Okay, I know he's a bad person, but like, listening to a woman isn't bad. You know, you could listen to a woman sometimes and end up making really good decisions because of that. You could even make the best decisions you've ever made if you listen to a woman. Like, for example, you could realize how relationships work. You could realize you're supposed to love the person that you're supposed to love. That should be pretty obvious. I bet a woman could figure that out. And yes, I know a woman can also be bad. I'm just saying.
Only. So it's got to remain that way. Okay, this style that you're living is because of my hard work. So don't try to interfere with it.
I'm
That's kind
not
of annoying.
trying to interfere with it. Stop making it sound like that.
You understand?
Okay.
Okay, I had to re-record this one as well. But what you can see on the video,
I would hate if I was making a video and had to re-record stuff. That must be so annoying. Because, like, you have to remember what you said and do it again, even though you already did it.
is, there's actually, he actually is making sense in a way because he is making money from streams, and on these
Yeah.
streams, if there's no girls and if there's no drama happening, because it's all a show, he created a show. And, when there's no show, when there's no girls, different girls, then viewers might get bored.
That's
so essentially, he is
true,
correct. He's
I
correct
think.
about the fact that he is making money from that, but the way he manipulated her is something else, Anyway, I'll talk about this a bit later on. It's interesting that
Okay,
on the
wait.
latest video,
So if he manipulated her, why couldn't he also be lying about his mom? Because, like, if you're a person who manipulates people, if you lie to people and say stuff like, I love you, when you don't, and, like, you would do that, why is everything that you're saying going to be believable? Well, it would be because you're good at manipulating people, not because you're telling the truth. So what if the stuff he said about his mom could have also been a lie? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying his mom is a really good person or anything. I've never met her. Just saying. It is possible.
you can see that he's talking in the stream about being loyal, being loyal to his girlfriend, even though the chat, these teenagers who are thriving on drama, who are watching him because of drama and female disrespect, they are encouraging him to cheat. That's the audience that he has created, essentially. And it's interesting that he says that because in previous, cheating, kissing is already kind of cheating, right?
Okay, I'm going
So
to try
not
to get
kind
rid
of.
of that AI comment thing. I don't want that in my stream. It's annoying. Oh, hi, Camille. How do I remove comments? I don't know how to do this. Okay, I banned the AI person who commented the thing. I don't know if that will do anything with the comment, but they're gone now, so. Also, I saw my cat Camille. I'm going to go pet my cat again, so. Yeah, I'll be gone for a minute. Okay, I'm here again. I'm going to unpause the video now. Looks like the comment's not gone, but at least that person can't comment again. Although it looks like they probably would have multiple accounts based on the username. Unfortunately.
It is cheating in a way. Well, not in a way. Why am I trying to minimize this? Kissing another woman while you're in a monogamous relationship is cheating. I don't
Yeah.
know what, sort of like what relationship they have and they have established. It seems like they have established like one-way monogamy. It is good seeing that he is somehow being more thinking even of being loyal and saying that he's not able to cheat. It is great seeing that.
Couldn't that just be lying, though?
And I do hope that this girl somehow, manages to heal him. But to be honest, I don't believe in healing from relationship. It's possible only if he decides to mature himself and take better decisions,
I think she should probably leave. I don't think any relationship with someone like that could be good. And I think anyone who is not prepared for very horrible things to happen should be very careful. Because that could be pretty bad. Which is why it's so great that I have a boyfriend who would never do horrible things. I kind of want to talk about him a lot sometimes. But I'm not going to. Although I have mentioned him a couple times. He's hopefully not watching this right now because I said to wait until later. Because I'm kind of nervous. Or I was kind of nervous. I'm not really anymore. My voice still hurts, so I need to be quiet. Anyways, I love my boyfriend. And I'm glad he's not a horrible, evil person. I think I already said that. I just want to keep talking about him, but I won't. I'm going to stop now because I need to watch the video. It's not even half over and it's already been more than an hour.
Not to make a show, but actually live his life with dignity. All right, so he notices his girlfriend upset and he goes, Lily, what's wrong? Well, I think you all see how manipulative this is.
Well, not specifically that sentence. But yeah, everything he did was a bit weird. In a bad way. Not like the good kind of weird, where it's like just a person is different from normal and they're an interesting person, but like the bad kind of weird where someone's like an evil, awful person who's doing horrible things.
Is how insanely manipulative he is. But here's something that you need to understand. When a boy is not treated well by his mother, see, the thing is, our parents, it's like this super ego. I don't know, our parents.
Okay, but again, someone's mom isn't the only reason they could be unhappy and do bad things, and like having a bad mom doesn't cause every problem every time someone has a problem. Like, there are other things that could make someone do things that aren't very good.
It's something that we have to love and respect, right? But the thing is, his mother treated him probably with a lot of disregard, maybe emotional coldness, maybe not caring about him at all, maybe.
That could be true. However, the evidence for this isn't enough to actually say that. It's enough to think that it's possible, but not enough to say that's definitely true. Even though that's what this whole video is about.
Putting him down, criticizing him. I don't know exactly what went on there, but something happened, and something happened, something bad happened, I think.
But it's not necessarily a parent-related thing. Like, what if being bullied at school as a teenager could make someone not a very good person? Like, that would be a bad experience to have, and bad experiences can make people do bad things. Not that people who experience bad things are always bad people or anything, but like, they can be related sometimes. So, maybe don't assume that it's all because of the mom who we barely know anything about instead of anything else. Because there's lots of things. There's lots of things that can cause someone to act in different ways. And there's not exactly enough evidence to say everything is because of his mom. Because, I don't know, have you met his mom? Did he tell you it's because of his mom? Probably not.
She was using her son in a
This
way.
is just my opinion, by the way, for legal reasons.
Of
I'm right, though.
one way or another, because she's still using him financially. So that normally these patterns, they don't just stop, they continue, but the like the face card of that pattern becomes different. You know, maybe before, now she's using him financially, before she was using him in a different way. So but when a man grows up, he understands that he needs to, you know, respect his mother, love his mother, whatever, right? But here,
That's not necessarily true for every man that's ever existed. I'm sure there are men who don't even have two parents, or don't have any parents. Or other things.
here is the thing. When now all this hate, and because, you know, the mother was very unjust and not loving and not caring, and so now,
See, the problem with saying that is you don't really have enough proof of that to say that. And you're saying it as if it's a fact. That's not exactly a good way to prove that you're right. Although you did say it was just an opinion. Just like how what I'm doing is just an opinion, even though I'm right and you're wrong. That's my opinion, by the way. Not a fact. But I am right. But anyways, yeah. You shouldn't say things as facts if you don't even have a way to prove to yourself that they're true. Like, you don't have to show people the proof of something to say it's true, but you have to at least have enough proof to show yourself that you could show someone if you were going to prove it. If that makes sense.
now all of this, in a way, like all of this hate that he was storing, like his madness that he was storing in himself, within himself against his mother, is now being projected onto women as a whole, onto females. Okay, that's why there is no respect there. And what he did right there is manipulating her, because he said like this, like he is using, how do I say it, he knows that she's not going to leave, that he knows that he was able to attach her to him. So also by the lifestyle that he provides, because he mentioned the lifestyle. Do you think I get that lifestyle because of your decision? Because
I have no idea what she just said. I was not listening. Just pretend that I said something interesting right now about what she said.
it's because of my decision, right? You can now have that lifestyle. So, and another thing that he does, you know, is like all the flowers that he gives her, all the presents, all these things. It's not love, okay? It's control. It's like, it's possessive, it's controlling. But he doesn't want to seem like he's possessive and controlling, because he said,
Okay, I really want to also do a stream reacting to the video that she made that was called something like "It's dangerous to live with your parents after you're 18" or something. I want to react to that video because I have some things to say about that video. That's the one where she said that if a man is living with his mom, they're basically married. So yeah, I have some things I want to say about that, and this one's really reminding me of that now that I've seen them both. A lot of things connect between them. It's like she seems to think that parents always want to control their children and stuff like that. I don't know, just something about parents and children.
you know, you can leave. I'm not controlling, I'm not possessive. If you want to leave, like I'll be just fine without you. Like, I don't depend on you. His biggest fear is to depend on a woman. That's why he does not. The thing is, I do believe that he heavily depends on her. But if she's gone, he can create dependence for another woman, because you know what he takes? He borrows their empathy, is buying her empathy in a way. He is consuming, he's consuming her empathy, because this girl, she's empathic, and we've seen
Okay. I have nothing to say about this. I don't know if that's true or not.
in a lot of different clips that she is empathic, an empathic person. She cares about him, you know.
Wait, the video's only half over and it's been an hour and almost 30 minutes? Oh no, I am doing this way too slowly.
When he is not feeling well, she's going to soothe him, etc. So he is consuming her empathy, because he doesn't have the empathy for himself, because the mother never gave him that empathy. So now he needs to consume her empathy. And
So the thing is, she's making a lot of statements about things that she just guessed. I'm gonna do the anime voice again. Okay, so basically she's saying stuff like he's consuming his girlfriend's empathy because he got none from his mom. But like those are all just things that she thinks might be true. That doesn't mean they are true. And saying them as if they are true is kind of like lying. Not exactly like lying, because she did say it's just her opinion, but you know, it's a bit, I don't know. I probably do that too sometimes, but it's just like, I don't know, double check that you're right. If you're just guessing before you say it's true, before you say, like, this thing is what's happening, you should probably check that that's the thing that's happening. You know? I don't know if that really makes sense the way I said it. I hope it does. I've said that so many times today.
because he understands how important, you know, the lifestyle is to her, he is controlling her. She is simply, this is very highly narcissistic, by the way. I think we all know and we see that, how narcissistic.
Okay, so yeah, manipulating people could be from that. But you know, there's other things that make people manipulate people too, right? Like, you know, a psychopath might manipulate people. And that's a different thing, although you can be both at once. And then, like, I don't know. There's lots of reasons. What if this whole thing was just fake? What if they're just pretending? Then it's not manipulation, it's acting. If they're both aware of the result that's supposed to happen and how they're going to get there, everything they say before that isn't really important because they're not really convincing each other of anything. So if it really is all fake, then that's not manipulation. And if it isn't all fake, then yeah, it is, but like, it's not necessarily for the reason that you think it is, it could be for all sorts of reasons. Does that make sense? Hopefully. I don't know if it does.
He is. It's very obvious. It's not even something that I need to analyze.
It's very obvious. No, it isn't. Where's your proof that that's the reason he manipulated his girlfriend? Where is your proof? How is it very obvious? What makes it very obvious that that's the thing that caused the manipulation and not something else? Because it could be something else. There are lots of reasons. There are lots of different things that could look similar, and you can't say it's definitely one of them just because it's the most popular one to talk about. That's kind of a harmful thing to do. And also unnecessary.
You know, it's something that screams, you know. And that manipulation, he knows that he got her hooked and she's not going to leave. So it's like, choose what's worse, me kissing other girls or me or you not having.
Did you hear what happened? I don't know if you did, but the video, there was some kind of glitch and it sounded weird. Anyways.
Me at all, like you not having access to me. What's worse? It's like, let me think about it. Another metaphor, another example. I'm not sure why I have this metaphor in my mind, but it's like going to war. Are you going to go to
It's like going to war?
war or you're going to die right now? Obviously, you don't want to die right now. You'd rather go to war, but you kind of know that, you know, in the war, you're
That
gonna
kind of
die.
makes sense.
So in this relationship, her self-worth dies. Why? Because her self-worth is going to be depleting little by little, because he needs to bring her down to his level. No wonder why.
That's not necessarily the reason, though. Because, like, I can imagine someone doing the same kinds of things for lots of different reasons. I am so bad at talking. Anyways, I can imagine someone doing stuff like that for lots of reasons. Like, for example, what if someone is very worried that someone's going to leave, so they manipulate them into staying? But then also, what if that person is just really bored? I don't know. That sounds kind of like a bad excuse for kissing random people. But you know, like if it is his job, like an important part of his job to kiss random people, but he doesn't want his girlfriend to leave. I don't know. I'm just saying there could be other reasons for manipulating people than one specific thing, and it's not really necessary to say what specific thing you think it is if you don't have any reason for it, other than just it's obvious. You know, like there's lots of things that look similar, and it's easy to choose one and say it's true, but you could be choosing the wrong one. What if it's something else? Of course, manipulating your girlfriend is bad. But you know, different reasons are called different things for actual real reasons. The real reasons are you have to know the difference because they're not the same, and they're not the same thing, so you have to be able to tell the difference. So basically, there's one reason. I heard my cat. I don't know where she is, though.
Why we see videos of him completely just, you know, showing what kind of relationship they have. It's shocking, you know. It's shocking that she's accepting that. It's unbelievable. Like it's
no
very
water
sad
left.
to see.
You don't care about the host?
Who?
You don't
His
care
host?
about? Yeah, his host.
No.
Really?
No, they're basically our hosts.
Our host. Oh, I like that.
Okay, I do believe their entire relationship is probably fake. Also, is that the same person? I can't tell. Every woman with blonde hair looks kind of similar. Because, like I said, I'm bad at faces. So, like, is that the same person as before? Anyways, that doesn't seem like a realistic answer to that, so I'm pretty sure that's, like, a lot of the stuff they do is fake or done intentionally for money and stuff.
So, like, say you walk in, right? You came home early. It is what it is. You see him hitting some shit. What you gonna say?
You're gonna hop in.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit, what the fuck? I'm not gonna lie. How did y'all meet?
I met her when at the grand
Why am I
opening
even watching
of
this?
my club.
I should just skip this part.
With her and a friend.
Never mind,
Oh,
it's
shit.
over.
Okay.
Kinda like-
Their shit must have been better than.
Kind of.
Well, her friend's pussy smelled horrible.
Oh.
I kind of had to just like
Nope.
say, alright, we're gonna have to.
It's
I
not
went in
over.
there, like I started hitting from the back, and I was like, because usually I can deal with it most of the time. Like I'll just start breathing through my mouth.
Yeah.
But I
Why
was a
would
little
anyone
bit like,
ever talk
you know,
about
just
something
out of
like
it, I
that
guess.
out
So
loud
like
with
I
words?
took one whiff, and I was like, nope.
That is so weird.
With her and a friend.
Oh shit. Okay.
Here I would have beat my meat to that shit. Just kidding. That's gay. I would never do that. I would just call up another bitch. I'm sick of you. Do you not like that?
I should probably
If you
skip this part. The problem is I don't know when there's normal stuff and when there's not. So like, what part do I skip?
So what I see
Oh, never mind.
is I see constant disrespect, constant manipulation, always playing on her, you know, with her self-worth, because
Now the question about that is whether their relationship is real. Because if it is, that's bad. If it's not, then they could have planned the whole thing and it doesn't matter. Like, what if they don't care about each other at all? And none of that is real, and they just make plans to do things and have things happen. You know, it could happen like that. Like, I don't know, having a fake girlfriend isn't impossible. People do it.
a woman who respects herself, she's not gonna sit there being okay with the fact that he's doing this, and he's telling her he's just
Well, anyways, you can probably tell why I'm not doing this on my regular YouTube channel, since some of the people who watch my videos are younger and I do not think that this video was intended for a younger audience.
Gonna have, intercourse with someone else, and then
I
he's
was
going to
thinking
think of
about something
her.
from a few seconds
This
ago,
whole
or
thing
minutes
is
maybe.
just like disrespect after disrespect after disrespect. And it is extremely narcissistic. The reason why he does this is because, like I said already, he's trying to bring her to his level because he feels so worthless. And that's what people get confused about narcissists. People get confused. People think they're, so they're so grandiose. They love themselves. They
Okay,
boast
but
themselves. They look at themselves in the mirror.
you can't say that someone is doing stuff for a specific reason without proving it at all. People do bad things. There's different kinds of bad people. So that's something you have to think about. Like, you have to, if you're going to talk about why someone does something, you have to think about whether you're right and, like, look at evidence and stuff and, you know. Plus, there is a chance that, actually, no. Never mind. What I was going to say makes no sense at all. So I'm not even going to finish. But, anyways, like, a fake relationship is possible, and then who's manipulating anyone other than the audience being manipulated? Because, like, what if they're actors? What if they're pretending? Then no one's affected by anything. And yeah, I doubt that that's true, but, like, I know it's probably a little bit true. And no, I'm not trying to say he's a good person who's never done anything wrong and doesn't manipulate his girlfriend. What I'm saying is, you can't assume you know the reason for everything just because you know a fancy word from TikTok. It is a real word, but, like, it's a TikTok word too. People use it on TikTok too much.
Thinking about how beautiful they are. The truth is, they don't look at themselves in the mirror thinking how beautiful they are. They know deep inside that they're worthless, completely worthless, because their worth has never been mirrored to them by their mothers. They've always been degraded. And so when on top
You don't need a mother to care about yourself and think you're important and stuff.
of that, when this whole bullying starts in school, and I'm somewhat sure that he was bullied, like all of us was bullied, okay?
All of us. Who? Who was bullied? Who's all of us? I wasn't, and, like, I should have been. Like, I don't know why I wasn't actually. Someone tried once. They were so bad at it, they didn't even, like, do anything. Is bullying supposed to be extremely easy to ignore and also something that stops pretty quickly after people realize you're not paying attention? And mildly entertaining because of the things they're saying being not that interesting or bad at all? I don't know. I feel like some people are just bad at it. But anyways, I did not get bullied. Unless someone erased all my memories and replaced them with fake ones. That's impossible, though. But anyways, who is everyone that gets bullied? Like, is she trying to refer to a specific type of person, like, or something else? Because I feel like I was always weird enough to bully, but then too weird to bully. Like, people don't know how. The things I care about are just different, I guess. Plus, I never talked to anyone. Except people I already knew. Anyways, I'm going to unpause the video. But, like, saying we all get bullied, that's kind of a weird statement to make for no reason. Like, who is all of us? Like, is she trying to say everyone gets bullied? At school? Is that, like, a thing that happens to every single person? I don't know.
We all get bullied, most of us get bullied in school, then there's no foundation, there's nothing to hold that. There's nothing to hold it. Collapse. You completely collapse, And what do you collapse in? You collapse into ideal self. So from now on, you need to become your ideal self.
Okay, but like, I tried to do that, and it's not because I was bullied at school, because that didn't happen. So then why am I trying to be the most perfect version of myself? What could that possibly mean? Maybe I just want to be rich and famous. But anyways, yeah, I do think the way that I want to be the most perfect version of myself isn't exactly what she's talking about, so we'll just pretend I never said any of that. Because, I don't like look at my face and then think, that looks awful, I wish I could fix it. Nothing like that. It's more like, oh, this video I made wasn't perfect, so I'm going to try to fix my mistakes next time. And then, every few months, I think, every video I've ever made is awful, I should just give up forever. Actually, no, I'm just going to restart. Like today, kind of. Not really today. I can't believe I'm even doing this. I am reacting to someone's video. Wow, never thought I'd do that.
Most perfect self. Why? You become that ideal self in order to, because when you're perfect, no one can criticize you. When you're
Okay, but that's not true. I could find the most perfect person in the world and say, you're too perfect, so I hate you. Although, someone that perfect can't exist, it's impossible. Because to be perfect, you would have to be everything good. And everything good doesn't go together very well. So a perfect person would be really weird. Like their face would look so weird because the most perfect things about a face from all of the best faces mixed together would make no sense. Because a perfect face isn't one face. A perfect personality isn't one personality. There's lots of different ways to be perfect, and if you put them all together to be the most perfect, you're not even close to perfect anymore, you're just weird.
when you're this ideal, walking ideal machine, no one can say anything against you. No one can tell you anything because now you own everyone, basically. Now you're the one who's on top. And, like one of the reasons why you would see him a lot in his streams that he'd be looking into the mirror. He'd be looking into the mirror not because it satisfies him, because if he saw in the mirror that something that satisfied him, he was satisfied about the way he looked, he would not need to look in the mirror again.
Okay, pause for a second. When I'm doing streams, I stare at my face a lot, but I also do that when I have a VTuber model. Sometimes when you're doing a stream, you need to see how you look, just to make sure that what you're doing is gonna look good in the stream. That doesn't mean you hate yourself. There's lots of reasons someone could do that. It means nothing to look at yourself constantly while doing a stream, other than the fact that you care about how you look in the stream. Like, I don't stare at my face all the time outside of streams, but when I'm doing streams, I always look to see where I am on the screen and, like, make sure nothing's wrong with my hair and stuff like that. You know? So, I feel like whatever she's gonna say is probably wrong. I remember something being wrong around this part.
Again and again. People who look in the mirror religiously all the time, they're not satisfied. They're not satisfied with what they see in the mirror.
Yeah,
and
this
it
is the
almost
thing that was wrong.
seems that he wants to look like almost better than
What?
his girlfriend. And to me,
I forgot this part.
that is not heterosexual. To me, that
Okay,
is
wanting to look better than your girlfriend is gay. Said nobody ever. Having a girlfriend when you're a man isn't gay. Nothing about that is gay. Wanting to look better than your girlfriend while you're a man means you have a girlfriend. What's gay about that? Wanting to look good? 'Cause that's not gay either. It would be gay if you wanted to look better than your boyfriend when you're a man. 'Cause then you'd be gay, 'cause you have a boyfriend.
something else. The opposite of heterosexuality. Okay, being straight.
Why? Why is that the opposite? Why are you gay if you want to look better than your girlfriend?
To me, that is the opposite. And because in a way, this whole incel culture, it's like they're trying to degrade women and manipulate and abuse women. And
That has nothing to do with being gay either.
at the same time, trying to look smacks and earn money and whatever.
Gay people only care about looking good and having money and looking better than their girlfriends, even though they're men who are gay. That makes no sense. What is she trying to say with this? What is she trying to say here?
But the thing is, to me, this whole looks maxing community just looks like they're trying to outdo one another. So it's essentially men competing with, not men competing for women's attention, even though I do understand he is competing for women's attention, but it almost seems like he's competing for men's attention.
Okay, that's not gay either. Imagine you're a woman. You're a woman with makeup. So you're a woman and you put on makeup. And then you're only going somewhere with your friends. Maybe none of your friends are men. So you're a woman spending time with not men. Is that gay if you wear makeup for that? Because you want to look good? And like, it's not uncommon for people to want to look good to people who are the same gender as them without wanting to be in a relationship with those people. There's nothing gay about that. Like, I don't know. What if you want your friends to think you look better than them because you want to be the best? That would mean you're a bad person, not gay. Well, maybe not a bad person, it depends on the situation. But you know, there's nothing gay about wanting to look good. And then her other evidence was also bad. Maybe there's more though. Maybe it gets better.
You know, for an attention of a man. And you can see in some of his videos where he gets really sad about his father not being present, his father.
So he's gay because his father is busy. Well, now we know why gay people exist. Looks like this woman solved that. That's obviously not it. I don't think gay people come from having a father who's too busy. That makes no sense.
There's not walking into a club that he bought or whatever, you know.
I've heard from my research that that was because his father talked to him about something and he said, "Don't come to the thing that I invited you to come to because what you said was annoying," or something like that. I don't know if that counts as his father being the problem in that situation, if he said his father shouldn't be there because he was annoyed that his father was trying to talk to him about something. But anyways, that wouldn't make someone gay even if it was a thing that happened.
You know, so it's like a man trying to compete for attention to, you know, to another man. And that does not sound or seem straight to me.
Why? What about that doesn't? Do you only want men to look at your face and think it looks good? Like, do you do everything you do to look good so that men will like you? Or could there be other reasons? Because I'm pretty sure for most people, there can be other reasons. If you're a woman and you have a friend who's a woman, maybe you want your friend to think you look good too. That doesn't mean you're gay, that just means you care about the opinion of your friend more than a random man. Or equally. There's nothing gay about caring about the opinions of people.
You know, a lot of the things, you know, a lot of the times what I hear from these men from like manosphere is that they keep saying that men are born with no value, but women are born with value, which is their beauty, etc. So men are jealous of women for having value in a way of their beauty. So what he's doing, he's creating value, which is something that a woman would be born with, right? And he's trying to build that value, the value that a woman has. So it's almost like trying to take.
Okay, I still don't see how that's gay in any way. Seems like something anyone could do. And also, so many people in these kinds of videos. From what I've seen during my research for the past couple days, because this was like 6 days ago, apparently. So many people say trying to look cool so other men think you're cool is really gay, but they're saying it in a way of like, you should stop doing it because that's gay and you should hate the thought of being gay. Not like, I've just noticed this person seems like they might be gay, but like, being gay is bad and you should hate it. And it seems like that's what she's doing too. Like she's trying to say what he's doing is weird because he's acting kind of gay and that's bad. And that's kind of weird, especially because none of the evidence has anything to do with being gay. Like trying to make a man think you look cool when you're a man doesn't mean you're gay, it just means you want to look cool. That should be obvious.
Take on identity of a woman upon him, and this is just like complete.
Oh, and then she said, people say that women are born with their beauty, which is the thing that makes them important, and men want to have value too, so they try to look good. And so if a man does that, he's basically trying to be a woman or something, or be the same as a woman. I don't think that was the point of any of that. I think it's more like completely unrelated to trying to be a woman. That's like if every woman had $50 and a man said, I want $50 too, and then gets a job and gets $50. You wouldn't say, that's gay because you want to have the same amount of money as a woman. That would be more like, you have $50. That's money. I want more money than you. Or at least I would think that. I want to be really rich.
Uno, or I don't know what you call it, where you just, there's just, I don't know how to explain it. So essentially this beauty is a value for men, right? Because men don't care about how beautiful another man is. Men, this value that I'm talking about, it's men.
I feel like some men might care about that.
Particularly find it attractive, the beauty. This values for it's attractive for men. That's why I'm trying to explain to you that to me it seems that these men are competing for other men's attention.
Okay, they are, but not in a way that would make them be actually gay. Like, they could be gay and do that, but it doesn't mean they're gay just because they're doing that.
Because a lot of the streamers on streamers, the viewers of his streams, men that he's earning from, not women, right? So it's men. So it's like he's trying to look better and better and better for other men. Then yeah, I don't know. He might say it's for the women, obviously, to get.
Do you never want to look cool in front of your friends? Like, do you never want your friends to think you look good? Do you not care about that at all? Like, is the only reason you care about your appearance for men? Because, like, it wouldn't be gay if a woman has friends who aren't men and wants to look good in front of them.
Get the women, but I don't think it's about the woman. It is unfortunate.
Wow, that just stopped in the middle of a sentence. But anyways, down here, there's stuff about that. What are all the recommended videos? Those are not the anime things I usually watch. I've completely ruined all of the stuff that's going to happen on YouTube just by watching this one video on this account. Anyways, for anyone questioning why she mentioned gay stuff, it has nothing to do with calling someone gay as an insult. It describes a structure where something energy is directed. Someone wants men to think that he is cool, so he's gay. It's not about who you sleep with, it's about who you're actually performing or living for. No, I'm pretty sure being gay isn't about who you want to think you look cool, it's about who you'd want to be in a relationship with. Oh, there's my song. Anyways. What you're actually seeing. Wait. What? oh, if a woman's competing with a woman, that's not gay. That's just a woman wanting a man to think that she's more attractive. So then why is it different if it's a man doing it? Well, anyways, I don't exactly agree.
The example that we see, I think this woman, Lily, should walk away from him instantly because she's going to be depleted. And I don't know what she
I do agree if that relationship is real, it's probably not good.
can do after that. By the way, yes, she's on OnlyFans. I forgot to show that to you, but let's quickly go to Instagram. What does this mean? What does this mean? That he has a girlfriend who's on OnlyFans. What does that mean? Let me
It means he has a girlfriend who does stuff that I would never do. I can't say what it is because there's no words I can say related to that. But you know what that means.
tell you. Okay, so what self-respecting man would have a girlfriend who does OnlyFans?
Well, there's lots of reasons. What if, I don't know, for some reason they really need money? Or what if they just have a kind of relationship where stuff like that is okay and they both don't really mind if the other person does that? It's possible. It's not like every single person would really hate that. It just depends on the kind of relationship that they have and what they both think would be okay to do. Like, for example, I don't have an example. I'm unpausing the video now, forget what just happened.
So I think honestly, I think they're benefiting from one another. She's benefiting in material-wise, money-wise, finances. Also, I'm sure that she now has all of these boys from his streams that are probably subscribed to her OnlyFans.
And that is one reason I think their relationship might just be for money. Because they're both getting money from each other. So it could just be a fake relationship to get money. Not saying they don't love each other, but it is possible that they don't.
And that's probably how she's getting paid, because his audience would be, purchasing her content. And this is the peak incel or whatever you call it, because you're showing yourself to be a man. I'm a man, like, look at me, I'm like this and I'm like that. And then your girlfriend is selling content, private content, to your followers. How does that work?
Well, I'm not sure if that has anything to do with being a man. Like, I don't think it makes someone not a man if their girlfriend does that. Like, do you have to be a woman to have a girlfriend who does that? Obviously not. Those things aren't related in any way.
Where's self-respect in that? Lily's, Brad, or whatever his
See, she doesn't remember his name. I told you that would happen.
name is, Brandon. Where's self-respect? It's nowhere to be seen. It's nowhere to be seen. Okay, fair enough. They're only 20 years old. They have a lot to learn. We all make mistakes, etc.
But also their relationship. You're assuming that it's a real relationship, when actually, they both are getting money from this relationship. So it wouldn't really matter if they loved each other or not. They would probably do it for money. Because they're both getting money from pretending to be in a relationship or being in a relationship, whether it's fake or not. It's something they're getting money from, so it could actually be fake. It could actually be for money. And that would make the entire situation different. Because then it's just like when famous people pretend to be in relationships because it makes sense based on stuff they're doing, and then they never actually cared about each other, they just pretended. It's like that. And a relationship like that can be less harmful to someone if the person they're in the relationship with is a bad person, because then they don't care about that person, so, it's harder to do bad things to someone who doesn't care about you.
I genuinely hope for Lily that she comes out of this relationship, finds God, leaves OnlyFans, and finds like something, an interesting career.
Oh, so you think she should quit her job and get a different job because you don't like her job? That is not really something you get to decide. If she doesn't like the job she has, then yeah, hopefully she will get a different one. But what if that's what she wants to do? Because it could be.
For her to follow, I don't know, to do. And I feel like for Clavicular, Brandon, it's going to be a lot harder because
That's not his name.
he's a lot, like, he's deep into trenches with this whole thing. He's very deep into this thing. And by the way, think about it like this. Okay, I know it doesn't happen physically. I understand it does not happen physically, okay? But he is sharing his girlfriend with his audience. Isn't that gay? Tell me.
No, it's not gay. What's gay about that? Okay, so what you're saying is basically a man has a girlfriend who, in the way you're describing it, basically is in a bunch of relationships with other men. So a woman and men in relationships. Nothing gay about that. And yeah, I know that's not exactly what it is, but like that's the closest thing I could compare it to. And like, not very gay. Like, what would be gay is if she randomly had a different boyfriend and then both of her boyfriends kissed each other. That would be gay.
Is that gay or is that not gay?
No, it's not.
You are sharing your girlfriend with your audience. To me, that's not heterosexual. No.
Why? Do you think gay people do stuff like that, and people who aren't gay don't do stuff like that? Because I would like you to know those things aren't related. They're not even slightly related. Not in any way.
To me, that I don't see it as straight. I don't. I simply don't. I don't know. To me, it looks like she's just standing there for, like an object. It's always her hugging him. It's never him hugging her. I don't really see that much. And yeah, I just see that she's being viewed as an object. And there's one interesting thing. He does this, that, like, okay, maybe I'm overanalyzing it. Maybe some people will think it's cute, but it's kind of like, look at my toy. This is my toy. Do you like my toy? Yeah, nice. You want that toy? Don't worry, you can buy it. You can buy some content, pictures of the toy. So, see, you need to understand that
That's got nothing to do with being gay.
narcissists, they objectify women.
Not specifically. What about everyone else? What if they're gay?
Okay? They objectify women. Well, narcissistic females objectify men.
But why? Why only men? What about everyone else?
Narcissistic men objectify women. Why does this happen? Because, psychologically, they're not developed enough. If we talk about psychoanalysis, we can take Melanie Klein theory and say that he has never progressed to depressive state. So anyway, I'm not going to complicate things. I'm going to try to explain it to you simply enough. He's objectifying. He's not seeing women as a whole, as a.
That is possible. I would believe that. But some of the stuff in this video is wrong and doesn't make sense.
a person with its own needs and desires is just like a human. You know? He sees, like, let's say, women as a supply. So it's a supply for his self-esteem.
Okay, you're saying he's a narcissist because that's how he thinks of his girlfriend, right? So what if there was another reason which made everything look exactly the same and caused him to do the same things? Do you think that's possible? Because I do. I think there's lots of reasons someone could act like that. Like, even if it's just from being autistic, what if, since apparently he intentionally spent a lot of time alone, he forgot that people are people? I mean, I know that that's not exactly how that works. But, like, it's a little bit how that works. If you don't spend time with people, don't care about people, and don't have people who care about you, you will start to think that other people don't really matter, or aren't really real, or aren't really people. Now, the difference with that is that it seems more like a fixable problem if it's not something that's been your entire life. Does that make sense? So, like, there could be lots of different reasons. Of course, doesn't matter what the reason is if someone does something bad. But if you're making a video about the reasons, consider the other reasons.
And he depends on women because you always see women in his TikToks or whatever streams. So he is dependent. He's actually, he hates women because he knows that he's heavily dependent on women, because without women, this whole...
The other option is that he has learned to act that way from the people he spends time with. Because again, if you spend time with a certain group of people a lot, you're going to start to be more like them. Whether you agree with them or don't, eventually you will start to agree with them. Because that's just what happens when you spend time with only certain people who believe certain things. So it could also be that. It could also be because he spent so much time with certain people who have certain bad opinions, he has started to copy everything that they do, like the bad things, without really caring. Just like, because that's what everyone does. Like how some people will buy really weird water bottles because everyone does that. But then, like, I don't know, they personally may not have cared. I know that's not the same at all. But there's just lots of things that could cause something to happen. It's not always the first thing you think of.
This whole show, his streams would not even exist. So he understands the dependence, and so he will take each one of them and use them, right? Because he is scared. He's genuinely scared and threatened by other women. Narcissistic men, they are threatened by women. They're threatened by women because women...
Okay, so he's a narcissist who had bad parents. That is what this video is about. And yeah, that could make sense. That is one possible reason out of many possible reasons. But stop saying the same word over and over again as if you're completely sure it's true when you don't actually have any way of knowing if that's the reason or not.
Like they say, possess inherent self-worth or inherent value because they're beautiful, or they can make themselves look beautiful, right? But really, it all comes from the relationship, the very early relationship with the mother. That dependency that they had, that dependency when they depended on the mother, and it was very painful. Something happened there. It was...
Or it has nothing to do with his mom.
Very painful to depend, emotionally on their mother, okay? It was very painful. So now they just start, the incels, they start hating on women and using women and seeing them entirely as an object, only as an object and nothing else. And it's the means to means to an end, basically. Why is this a threat? Why he's scared? Actually, genuinely terrified of women. You might be shocked to hear that, but that's what I strongly believe. He is terrified of women because he knows that he's dependent on them. Let if all the women suddenly quit his streams would not be popular.
That is true. I do believe that that is true. But that doesn't mean you're right.
Would not be popular. He'd not be where he is right now. So unfortunately, really, right now, I can say, who are we to blame? Unfortunately, it's the girls that are agreeing to be on his streams, because if girls did not agree to be on his streams, then his streams would not be plausible. Would not.
Wait, so now you're saying it's their fault for being there? I don't know if that's true.
Would not exist. But additionally, he also buys them, right? He buys them with money. And if the fact that he can buy them, that means he's probably attracting women with either narcissistic trauma or narcissists themselves. But again, I don't think he's attracting women who are narcissists, because they would destroy each other. I think it's the narcissistic trauma. So it's most likely that Lily's parents were narcissistic, and now.
Oh, so now her parents are bad too. You know, not everything is because of parents. People can have bad things happen because of bad parents. But, like, not all parents are really evil and trying to manipulate their children and stuff. And people can have horrible lives with parents that care about them and haven't done anything wrong.
Now she is a people pleaser, because this is what happens when your parents are narcissistic. You become a people pleaser. When you've given conditional love, that's what happens. So that's who he's going to be attracting. These type of women who think they can change him, who think they can save him, and who also benefit from the money. Okay, one last thing I want to mention, because this is going to be a long one, right? Another thing I wanted to mention is that, okay, where do I see him going? Where do I see this whole thing going? Okay.
There's a lot of stuff being assumed in the video with not a lot of evidence. Just like a lot of talking without a lot of reasons.
Another video I found where he treats her like a dog, where he tells her to do the push-ups, she does the push-ups, and then he like pats her in the head, like hugs her, because she did what he asked her to do. That just shows that I control you. You will do what I tell you to do. You're like my dog, basically, because I control you to do what I want you to do. Anyway, where do I see this whole thing going? Realistically, like speaking, I've recorded this video. It's called Analysis of the Movie called Substance with Demi Moore. Incredible movie to show you an example of what happens within a narcissistic mind. Okay, let's leave narcissism aside. Let's take Clavicular. Another thing is, right, his name.
That's not his name either. Do you even know who you're talking about? Wait, what if she didn't do any research at all for this video and just decided to make it and barely knows anything, and that's why so many things are wrong? I don't think that's what happened, but like, she got his name wrong twice, his real name and fake name.
Claviculum. That's a very narcissistic thing, and I see in a lot of narcissistic people. What do narcissistic people do?
Well, I don't think that has anything to do with usernames.
They change their names. They change their name not for privacy, but for publicity.
Okay, there's lots of reasons someone could change their name, even if it is just like the regular real name. It doesn't always have to be for privacy online. Like, even in regular real life, you could just really hate your name and want a different one. Or, like, maybe you were named after something your parents think is really important that you really don't like, and you want to change your name so that your entire existence isn't called something that you think is bad. Or, like, I don't know. There could be reasons like that. Or sometimes people change their names because they move to a different country and they want people to be able to say their name. Stuff like that. There's all sorts of reasons someone could change their name. Like normal reasons.
So changing the name, not for privacy, but for publicity. Like I, for example, changed my name once, not on documents, just in social media for my privacy. But now I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm just gonna show people, my name. It's okay. I don't mind being non-private. It's fine. But what do narcissistic people do? They change names. They go and they change the names.
What evidence is there for this? Because I have never heard of that being a thing that happens. And, like, maybe it could happen, but, like, there's way more reasons for someone to change their name unrelated to that I think they wouldn't be seen as a thing that happened at the same time very often.
The passport, they change their passport names to make the name sound cooler. If the
Wait, so she thinks his passport name is his online name. I hope it's not, because that would be really confusing. But, like, also, I don't think it is.
name doesn't sound cool enough, they change it. On social media, they change it and they keep it that way, and they ask people to call them by that name. So
Oh no, I'm such an awful person because I'm Heart of Unicornia on social media and I don't use my real full name. I guess you should just never watch my streams again, since I'm such a bad person for changing my name to an online name and asking people to call me that online.
with narcissistic people, why do they change the names? Why do they change their names to something cool? Because they cannot accept their real name. If they cannot
I keep accidentally clicking things. But anyways, lots of people want a cool name. Who doesn't choose a cool username? Who, while choosing a username, goes, what's the worst username that I can think of that I really hate that I would never like? Like, you're going to choose a username that reflects things that you think are important, even if those things aren't very serious. It's going to be stuff that matters to you in some way, even if it's just like, I chose random words for my username and it's not serious at all. That's still important because that still says something about who you are.
accept their real self, how they can accept their real name? Real self, it's not just your name, okay? Real self is your name, is how you look, is your body, is your hair, is your eyes, is your,
Yeah, so they change their eyes every time too with their names, right? Like every single person who's like that would change their full name and their eyes and their hair. All three of those, they have to do it every time. I feel like she's just guessing stuff.
your certain characteristics about you, but narcissism doesn't let you accept your real self. So you need to create something completely different out of yourself.
Like VTubers. Every VTuber must be such a horrible person then. Well, a narcissist isn't necessarily a horrible person, but I know that's what she's trying to say. So I'm just going to pretend she said horrible person.
You need to become this ideal version for people to love you. But it doesn't happen like that because this is just, it doesn't happen, unfortunately. Especially if you treat people in a very shitty manner. People are not going to love you just because you look amazing and your name is cool and your hair looks great. And
it does depend on how famous you are because there are people who will really like someone even if they do awful things and then they'll just ignore the awful things they did because of how important they think they are and stuff.
Your body looks good. No. Only people who have certain like vanity in them, within them, yeah, they will. But how long it's going to last? If let's say right now there was a massive earthquake all over the world, what are you going to be left with? You're probably not going to be left with money because banks are going to go completely out of business. All your possessions will be gone. Everything will be gone. What are you going to be left with? You're going to be left with human connection.
Not if there's a giant earthquake that destroys everything in the world. I think that would include humans. Because if it's so bad that there's no money anywhere in the world, where are all the people going to be? What do you think is going to happen to all the people who are inside their houses and stuff, especially in places where there aren't usually earthquakes and things and no one knows what to do? Like if there's no money left anywhere in the world, I don't think there's going to be people left either.
With the connection that you've built, with love that goes on from one to another with love and connection and people, right? But when you treat people like shit, you're going to be left with nothing. So
No, I'm pretty sure if there's a giant earthquake that destroys the world, it doesn't matter how you treat people, because there won't be people. Or you. There will be no you to do anything, and there will be no people to talk to.
the money, the status, possessions, it's not going to save you in the end. Anyway, if you want to understand what I didn't conclude it properly. I wanted to conclude it. So what do I think is going to happen to him right now? Like, how it's going to go? I believe that it's only going to get worse because no one's going to help him. No one's going to save him. His mom is using him for money, so it seems. His dad completely disowned him, or seems like he has disowned him. And right now, all he's left is his audience. So now he needs to get more support, more views, and more money from his audience to keep his image, to keep, getting that like resource from supply.
I don't completely disagree with that.
Supply, narcissistic supply. He would be getting his narcissistic supply from...
Saying that word again without any proof. Like, there's lots of reasons someone can do something. It's not always going to be the thing that you heard on TikTok.
The audience. So to entertain the audience even more, I think this guy is going to go to some either more drastic measures that he already has. I don't think he's going to find God and going to completely shift 180. I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, you can become a better person without a religion too. Like, you could just become a better person because you've realized your life isn't good with the way you're acting and stuff. You don't need a religion to do that.
I mean, I hope for that to happen, but even if he finds God, it doesn't cancel out the fact that his personality structure is very, it's narcissistic. It doesn't really help. So that will take years and years and years of therapy. And even then, tricky, right? So most likely he's going to hopefully...
Okay, I would like to say, I really doubt that therapy would be useful in any way at all. Based on my experiences with it, it seems pretty useless if you're not already a perfectly normal person with very normal problems that are easy to solve. Like, stuff like, you're nervous? Try breathing. Stuff like that. They can help with stuff like that. Doesn't seem very useful for anything more difficult or complicated. For example, I don't know. I can't think of an example again. I should just stop saying that so I don't have to think of examples. The thing that I was worried about when the person said, nope, that's normal. Like, that would have been normal if it was, but it's not. And, like, that would have been a perfectly fine response if it was a normal problem. But I was worried about something that was not a normal thing to worry about and more than people usually would. So, that didn't do anything to help. Then there's the problem of not being able to talk to people. And the solution was, well, you're not saying anything, so you probably don't really care that much. Like, obviously I'm not saying anything. I'm here because I can't talk to people. Anyways, I'm gonna unpause the video.
Hopefully, his girlfriend is gonna, because no one can be treated like crap for a long periods of time. Eventually people break. So I think one day Lily will break, and eventually I think she'll break and she'll leave him, and then he's probably gonna get another girl, and then after that girl, another girl, right? And they're just gonna keep changing. And eventually, and I think especially if she leaves him, then he's gonna go get into narcissistic depression. And narcissistic depression is going to make him take more drugs, heavier drugs, and then God knows what's going to happen to him.
I thought you weren't going to say that word.
And Additionally, it's nice to see that he's trying to start businesses, like a cafe and like a club. It's nice to see. I hope he succeeds in that. I really hope he succeeds in that, so he would be able to leave that toxic streaming thing and just completely brainwashing young kids, young boys into believing that what he's doing is normal.
I don't think he would stop doing that if he's getting money from somewhere else. Because from my research, it seems like he thinks that's pretty important. And that's what he wants to be doing. So he's probably going to keep doing that.
Is okay, because what he's doing, he's translating his trauma on masses. Clavicular is translating his trauma, transferring his trauma on masses. And those masses are young boys who are watching him. And it clicks for them, probably, even if they might have not had the same extent of his trauma, maybe they had to a little extent, but additionally with the whole bullying going on, I feel like a lot of boys all of a sudden will see that this is the solution, to their problem that they can get from him. Eventually, I think there might be some lawsuits because eventually the parents,
I do think that is possible, but I also think that's probably not going to happen. Because a lot of stuff that people say online can cause harm to people without anything happening to them. Like, the YouTube channel called 5 Minute Crafts, where they told people to put bleach on strawberries to make them white. Obviously, that's a harmful thing, but I don't think their channel got deleted for that. So I really doubt that anything more than that would happen either, unfortunately. What are we watching? Oh, well, the video's almost over, but it's a video about a person, and a different person is talking about them and saying a lot of stuff that I think is probably wrong. That's the best way I can explain it.
something that someone's son does something, parents come out, they start talking against, Clavicular, Brandon.
Okay, that's not his name, though. I remember his name, and it's not that. How can someone get someone's name wrong that many times?
Then, something will happen. This is not looking like it's going it's going in the right direction. This is not going in like a happy, healthy direction. This is only going downhill. And the interview that he had with the 60 Seconds guy, the Aussie guy, is just to show how
I watched that interview for my research for this stream. That's not a video. I almost called it a video again. It was kind of interesting. It was weird. It was really weird. Because, like, the older person was kind of being like, oh, well, why are you doing the things that you're doing? But, like, do you think the things you're doing are wrong? Don't you know how other people would say they're probably not good things to be doing? And, like, do you agree that other people would say you're wrong? And also, are you sure this is something you should do? And, like, do you believe that what you're saying is true? And, like, are you lying to everyone all the time? And stuff like that. I don't know, just, like, asking over and over again a bunch of things about, like, do you know that what you're doing isn't good? Do you believe in what you're doing? So that was interesting.
I think that it shows a lot. It shows Clavicular's
I don't know if that was right or wrong. It could just be the subtitles being wrong this time.
delusion, how he lives in delusion, and how he brings that delusion.
What's his account name? Well, it's in the title of the video. I think you can see it. Yeah, you can. It's here.
Delusion onto other people and trying to make other people delusional, because this is delusion, And anyhow, if you want to learn more about, because see, I didn't talk too much about the ideal self, but we can see how relentlessly he's trying to achieve that
This
ideal
is going to be an
self.
advertisement.
how relentless he is, and he will never achieve it. You know why? Because it's impossible, because this thing such as ideal self doesn't even exist. It's just a construct in our mind that if you become like this, then you're going to be loved, you're going to be
There's an
respected,
advertisement
whatever.
happening
But this
really soon.
it's a construct in your mind. It's you can never become your ideal self. You are already worthy as you are right now. So there's no need to try to reach that ideal self. So
Okay, so I don't disagree with that. However, I am going to disagree with what she's about to say.
I would
Probably.
suggest for you to watch my other video, Substance. It's a really good video. I analyzed the whole topic of like false
Where's the
self, ideal
advertisement?
self, and how what goes on in our minds, you know, when we're ridden by narcissism or narcissistic trauma. Another thing that I would suggest for you is to get my workbook.
There. I would suggest not getting that. I'm gonna unpause it. I think there was a specific reason. I think, probably.
If you really like, let's say, how I analyze in my videos, if you like how deep I go, if you like the depth of analysis,
What does that mean? The whole video was just guessing stuff. Like, oh, I think he hates the way he looks because of his mom. Because I knew some people. And for them, it was all because of their parents, so it's always because of parents. And he's a narcissist. And yeah, a lot of assuming stuff.
then I would suggest for you to get this workbook that I created. It's pretty big. There's a lot of exercises in it and techniques that I've been gathering for 7 years of my studies. I studied
Wait, what?
clinical psychotherapy, counseling, coaching. So all these amazing.
So she's supposed to know about this stuff. And she's still. Okay, so the main reason that I do not believe anything she's saying is because I watched a second video of hers to see if maybe she just made a mistake in this one. And in the other video, which was something about why you shouldn't live with your parents after you're 18, she said if a man lives with his mom, they're basically married. While at the same time, parents will always see their children as children. So basically, she's saying the mom is basically marrying her son, who she thinks is still a child, just because they live together. And then at the end, she basically says, leave as soon as possible if you live with your parents and you're older than 18. Just go rent somewhere with your friends if you have to. Just don't stay with your parents because that's bad. Oh, and then she said something like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it was, if the man and his mom live together, if he has a father, the father just doesn't care at all and is always watching TV and stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure that's not true for every single father. I think that's one specific situation that you could imagine, not every single one. So, yeah, after I saw that, I was completely convinced that she doesn't know very much about what she's saying. There is a little bit of the video left.
Powerful techniques from other modalities as well of psychology. I put in them there. And if you want to analyze yourself, if you are kind of like me who likes to analyze other people and would like to analyze yourself, then this would be like a perfect present actually for.
Well, I don't think I need a book to do that. It could be fun to do that with a book, but like, can't you just think about yourself? Like, think about why you do things and try to figure out the reasons for things inside your own brain, where those things are happening? Wouldn't that be the easiest way to do it? Well, anyways, the video's basically over and I don't think anything else is going to happen. Don't forget, this stream was just my opinions. Nothing I said was a proven fact. Well, I mean, some of it definitely could be. But I have no education that makes me qualified to discuss these things. I am just a person who talks about things. Oh, wow. 2.5 hours, that is a long time for a stream. I want to talk about the other video. I really want to do that. I don't know if I should. I'll think about whether I'm going to do it. But I can't today. Oh, I'm talking again. I guess my voice is back to normal. It still kind of hurts though. I didn't even notice. Well, anyways, thanks for watching my stream. I'm Heart of Unicornia, even though I don't look like Heart of Unicornia. This will be going on one of my other YouTube channels. If you find it, you should tell me. Thanks for watching. Bye. I don't want to end the stream though. Wait, should I do my end screen like the normal one? No, that would be weird. Because that's Unicornia and this is just a random VTuber. Oh yeah, the information about who made the VTuber model will be in the description of the YouTube video when I upload this there, so yeah. Oh, I also wanted to say I wasn't going to do this stream. I really didn't want to. I kept thinking, I shouldn't do that. That wouldn't be a good decision to make. That's not what I usually do. I don't do stuff like that. But then I thought, it's so annoying. This video is annoying. I have to talk about it. I am annoyed. Because someone saying they know stuff about psychology and went to school for several years to learn about it and stuff, and then getting everything really wrong when even I, who didn't finish high school, can figure it out, or like can know that some things aren't right about what's being said, it's just annoying. And also, the responses to some comments, let me see if I can find it actually, since I didn't end the stream yet. The recommended videos are so random. Where actually will it be though? You can probably tell I don't watch stuff on this account. I think I found it when I did this. It was one that she replied to. Oh, here. Okay. Hating women is not the same as being gay. And then, do you really believe that hating women, if you're a straight man, has nothing to do with being a straight man who hates women? Stuff like that. And then she basically wrote an essay. Let me explain this properly because I think you misunderstood. Has nothing to do with calling someone gay as an insult. I think this is probably the same as the first thing. Uh, is there anything here worth reading out loud? This is also why your double standard argument doesn't make much sense. What you're actually seeing when women seek female validation is largely boring stuff about competing with women for men. This is my opinion based on what I see online, my personal interpretation, and should not be taken as fact, by the way. Well, if it's not facts, don't say it like it's facts. But there was another one, I think. Oh, someone said he's autistic, which I said too, because I remember seeing that. And then the person said, is it proven or documented? Because I couldn't find a single thing on this, only his words. But like, someone's words about that should be enough. You don't have to show them like pictures of proof and things. And also, it's pretty obvious that it's true. Like, I'd be pretty surprised to find out it's a lie. Well, anyways, thanks for watching my stream. I'm actually ending it now. Bye! Okay, I think the stream is over, but I'm still recording. So, yeah. That means you're watching this as a video, hopefully, unless it's still the stream, and then, oh no, I clicked the wrong thing. But you know, if it's the video and not the stream, then thanks for watching this as a video. I know it's not as fun when it's not live and you can't comment and stuff, although nobody really commented, just a couple people. But anyways, if you thought it was interesting, tell me and I might make more videos like this on the channel that you'll find this on. Or streams, not videos. It could be either. And thanks for watching. Bye! Remember when I was talking like this earlier in the... This is a video now, not a stream, right? Well, anyways, remember when I was talking like this before? Well, I'm doing it again. I'm kind of wondering who the one person who was watching the stream the entire time was, though, because I turned off the thing on my laptop and it still said one person. I hope it wasn't my boyfriend. I told him to wait. Because I was really nervous and I didn't want anyone to watch. It's fine, though, it's fine. I really love my boyfriend. When I'm really rich, we're going to live together. Well, obviously, we're going to live together someday. But you know, hopefully, I'll be really rich soon. And if we're not really rich, we're hopefully still going to be able to live together. Why am I still talking? I'm ending the video. That's not a stream anymore now. Bye.